Not surprisingly better. Were they much better than expectations, though, is the question for you.
I think it's probably slightly better than expectation, but don't forget PMI is a month-on-month gauge, right?
Yeah.
Because we have a quite bad December, so it's not surprising. We were expecting the PMI to rebound in January.
Yep.
But given January still, usually historically it's a weak season, so I think it's still better than expected, and it's clearly showing that China has passed, the worst, slump after the abrupt COVID-0 exit in December, and now activity is picking up, and the COVID already peaked. So I think many people have already got infected. Now they are back to normal. So we would expect activity to further pick up. Yeah.
But the data normally in January and February, because of the Lunar New Year, tends to be a bit skewed. And how does that skewing affect these figures that you're getting?
That would mean the data is actually even better. If you're taking into account of the seasonal weakness, right? And I think the services is consistent with our high-frequency observation that we see a big rebound in travel, in consumption during the Chinese New Year holiday. Yeah.
Let's talk about the sustainability of this, right? So it's month to month. So obviously January, to your point, was better than December, and because there was this big travel week that almost boosted the data further. What do you think this tells us about what Feb looks like?
I think the Chinese New it could be distorted somewhat by Chinese New Year holiday because it's the first time in 3 years people can normally travel across the country. So that's a lot of pent-up demand, especially on travel, on those recreation side. But I think after Chinese New Year holiday, we might see some declining in the heating. It's unlikely to be as strong as we have seen in the Chinese New Year holiday, but still we would expect activity to normalize towards the pre-COVID patterns we have seen.
Eric, what's the read-through for Hong Kong?
For Hong Kong in the economy?
Yes.
I think it's a big boost that the border is reopened now since the early of January, right? So we're seeing that tourists and the visits from mainland are coming back, but still quite gradually. So at the beginning, I think it's mostly for business and family reasons. We haven't seen a very big rebound in those tourism, but we think things will pick up later in the first quarter or even in the later of the year. That will boost Hong Kong's GDP.